And also an interesting point, I remember that you're teaching that it's important to have detailed headings, but how does it relate to this? And shouldn't headings be concise?
Yeah, so as we have discussed, headings is one type of navigation aid.
Mm-hmm.
It's one way to make your structure immediately obvious, immediately clear, explicit to the reader.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I generally prefer concision, but, do everything for a reason. And in the case of headings, I actually think that less concision is more helpful to the reader.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you an example. This is from the Martha Stewart case. Martha Stewart, for those of you that don't know, was a TV or is, but especially was a TV lifestyle personality. She was a very famous person 20 years ago, and she was prosecuted by the government for insider trading. And so I took some of the headings from their brief supporting her conviction, which they won, because it's a very good example of how you could make your headings work better for you by giving the reader more information. Peter Bakanovich thinks Imklon is going to start trading downward. That's a very unusual heading, but it's very effective and persuasive. And by the way, interesting, like a newspaper heading. Stewart sells her Imklon stock. Something is going on with Imklon, and Martha Stewart wants to know what. February 4th, Stewart lies to investigators. Fanoy reveals the truth. Okay, this is unusual. And again, that's why I teach it, because most lawyers aren't doing it. And if you wonder if it's a good idea or a bad idea, my answer is always the same. If you're the reader, does it help you?
Mm-hmm.
Does it help you follow the structure? And it's a rhetorical question because the answer is obvious. Yes.
Thank you for these examples. This is really, I can see the effect and what you mean. Also, you mentioned.
Angelica, Angelica, can I interrupt you for 1 second? There's a good tip that I give at the end of my discussion about headings, which I really think people should hear. The best test of your headings is to ask yourself, can the reader understand my argument after reading just the headings?
Mhm.
Very few legal documents pass that test. And if you ask yourself that question, then you're probably going to make your headings more detailed and more effective.
Mhm. This is interesting because I haven't thought of this myself, actually.